Hey, everybody.
We're live.
We are live in the house. We're going to get ready to start the show. This is the new slot time only temporarily because we have gotten feedback that it is taking too long for people to jump on because of work and other things, and they're at, lunchtime and things like that. So
we thought this would be your lunch break.
Yeah.
We thought we would be doing you a favor, but apparently that's not the case.
Yeah. So we know it's hard and we appreciate it, but everyone seemed to love the 10 o'clock slot time. So we're probably going to be moving back to that.
Probably, most likely.
Yeah. By June. So, all right, we're going to get ready to start the show. Are you ready, Mike?
I'm ready.
Get everything queued up and watch the clock.
Let's make it happen.
All right, here we go. Countdown's on. 3, 2, 1.
What if I told you that the paranormal and afterlife doesn't have to be scary and sad all the time?
People are ascending fast and quickly, but they don't know what to do with it once they get there.
And what if I told you that this is a podcast hosted by a world-renowned psychic medium that won't hold anything back?
The best way to do all of this is just fucking saying no.
When it comes to delivering the message of spirit, political correctness is out the door.
I hear what I hear, and I see what I see.
The Motherella Show. She's raw, authentic, and funny, and a total badass.
I do not sway ever on my inner knowing.
And now here's your host, Motherella.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Motherella Show. We have a badass show for you today. I am here with my co-host, Walker, who is in the house on behalf of Rocket Street Media, streaming talk radio, Spreaker, and multiple other platforms. We are so glad to have you here today. That intro was from our great friend, Dan Levy, who owns CHI Pod Productions. And if you need anything for your podcasting needs, please check him out. He is badass. He's my friend Jill Urchek's husband. We love him. How are you doing?
Deep recognizes deep.
We definitely recognize him. We are so happy to have everyone in the chat room. We are streaming live at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are looking to change back to our 10 a.m. Central Standard Time slot time because, apparently people want us in the morning.
Lunch isn't good for them. I guess we're too much to take on a full stomach.
I think so too.
Empty stomach works better.
Empty stomach seems to work better.
Red pills work better on an empty stomach.
Yeah. So we need to switch back. So the 10 a.m. slot is going to be good. We're sorry about the flip-flop, but sometimes you have to try things out to see what works. That's all part of being an entrepreneur. But we have a really good show coming up for you today, and that is because I decided to talk about some conspiracies today. It's been a while. And I think that everybody listening needs to hear not only what our predictions were, but what has transpired and what's coming out right now as we speak. And we're labeled it, so why not talk about it?
Why not talk about it?
Yeah. I don't care about the censorship anymore. So we're going to be bringing you some really hot topics today that many of you have asked about. All right. What do you think?
I feel like, the other social media platforms are going to do their thing, so we'll just do our thing. This is for radio too,
So with that said, you like the little music in the background? I love it. I'm going to be all playing with the soundboard. So a quick story. When we were together back in March, visiting a undisclosed location, we were sitting outside. This was the first time we had both been able to be in a state of peace and serenity the way we were. Downloads were coming in. This is when the Tribe of Eden morphed literally in about 2 days. And we were getting a lot of downloads about timelines and what was coming up. And this is at the time when our censorship, both of us, was really high, both on both platforms of social media. And we decided to bring the tribe to the Vimeo because it's a paid subscription, $20 a month, and we don't have to deal with all the censorship. The reason why we haven't given a lot of predictions since March is because our March predictions are playing out down to the week, literally. And many of you may have missed it. And I don't want to keep repeating my predictions, which is why I started the Tribe 1 too. I post everything on social media. So if you miss it, I apologize for it, but we really need to get people into the conditioning of watching our posts, because it's too many people ask the same question, and we're trying to give everyone the answer up front. So with that said, the prediction that's playing out started May 15th. And we said May 15th to
June 5th.
Yes, exactly.
I record everything she says.
May 15th to June 5th is truly when this was all supposed to erupt. And man, are we freaking watching this shit erupt. What do you think?
It is erupting.
Yeah. So I want to start right in and say, for the people who had thought all this time, all these quote unquote conspiracy theorists were giving false information and doing all these things and all these negative statements and exposing the wrong stuff. Well, guess what?
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Guess what? I have been harping on the fact of crimes against humanity for a long, long time. And here we have it. It's being brought out, and it's going to slap all these motherfuckers so hard in the face that they won't know what hit them. And it's coming quick and fast.
And for everyone that's like, oh, well, the white hats they just left. They disappeared. We're on our own. They abandoned us. There was these thoughts that occurred to me as I was looking at the reality going on back in January. And it was like, okay, I can go into this 3D thinking that all is lost and this is it. Or the things that were supposedly going around that no actual informed white hat actually was saying was going to happen. There was these rumors going around. And so that's something that we really have to be aware of. A
lot of people might not know what white hat is, though.
Well, the white hats are the ones bringing about this change on this planet for the betterment of liberty, sovereignty. That means self-sovereignty. That means that we are sovereign beings. We're not supposed to be governed by any government that's going to tell us what to do. That we can govern ourselves in a way that is empathic. That means that we have concern for others. But first and foremost, we express self-love so that we're in a space of being able to empathically not see this separation illusion of the matrix. This world that one lives in is a prison planet called the Matrix. And I say a prison planet because it is a prison built on this planet, which has made it a prison planet. The actual planet is not the prison, but the prison that has been built by us, by our consent to live in this illusion. So what the white hats are, what we consider to be white hats, are those that are moving towards self-sovereignty for all, for the original founding fathers of this country that had intended this world to be a neo-Atlantis. That what we're going through, what the 2012 timeline was, is this total dismantling of the illusion. Mm-hmm. Isn't that what enlightenment is? Yeah. Enlightenment's not fun. Especially if we've been living in the darkness.
Half of us don't even want to be enlightened. And then when we do, then we don't like it.
It's like being asleep, right? Having dreams with a few nightmares here and there. And then now the nightmares are a little more prevalent. And then someone says, you're asleep.
Or you're
wake
constantly
up.
Being woken up.
Go away. I want my pillow back over my head. I want to go back to sleep. I don't want to see. I don't want to be enlightened to the real truth of what this world is. Because it's easier to be an ostrich and just put one's head in the sand and say, well, I hope it all just goes away. And when I pull my head out, it'll be gone. but then they decide never to pull their head out because they're too afraid that this illusion it will still be here. So when we talk about the white hats are moving in a way of empathic understanding. That means empathy means to have a vibrational resonance and an energy expenditure of love unconditionally for all beings, everything. That doesn't mean that that white hats are pushovers, or that they have unconditional love for the darkness with no consequences for those that do dark and those that do evil, because there is evil on this planet. You can unconditionally love someone if you have to kill them out of self-defense.
But it's a vibration. It
is a vibration. It's an energy and a vibration
it's not just an action.
Self-sovereignty.
Mm-hmm. Which leads us into today's topic of spiritual
cognition.
So that's going to be the topic today, is being cognitive through the spiritual shifting that we have going on. But we thought it'd be fun to bring up some of the spiritual cognition alongside what's playing out in the timelines of the prediction. So one of the things that we talked about in this prediction was the eruption and eradication of the less than 10% that control this country and the entire planet.
Yes.
I've always said there's really only two families, and that has extended into other branches, within those families. But if you look at the population, it's less than 10%, and it's sickening to know that the rest of the world, the rest of the people like you and I are I'm not fearful, but like many are fearful of this 10%. It makes me sick to watch. But that is how we coined the term sheeple, because there's a lot of people who are awakened and are not putting up with the elite, who I feel aren't even elite.
But when you say they're holding a vibration.
They're holding a vibration.
Yeah, they're holding the light.
Yeah.
So it's coming down to a split in the timelines. You have the children of the dark and the children of the light.
Yeah.
Children of the dark means they choose to stay in the illusion of the darkness. They choose to stay either willingly promoting evil or just being a bystander and allowing it to happen, because they don't want to not be accepted, or they don't want to not do what they're told because that's too dangerous, or there's too much fear around that. So you have the children of the light, and you have those, like I said, the children of the darkness that do the dark, that do evil in the dark. Those are the ones that are convincing all these other people that are now in the darkness, that are becoming children of the darkness because they're not opting out. They're serving the dark by choosing to do nothing.
Speaking of dark, I just noticed our green screen is Travis Eden and not the Motherella show.
Oh!
Whoa, mess up. Technical difficulty there. So with spiritual cognition, it's about being cognitive of what's playing out and being connected with the higher.
What if I
Whoa. We have all sorts of technical difficulties happening. So the spiritual cognition portion comes from being cognitive of your own intuition, your own higher self, choices that need to be made from your own personal choices, from your own intuition, from your own inner truth, without being swayed by the 3D consciousness or the matrix. And it's very hard to do for many people. But at the end of the day, there are multiple masses of people who have awakened and are doing this. So with these quote unquote conspiracies, one of the things we're talking about today, and I don't really care if they take it down or not, is we have discussed over and over about why you should not be taking the bee sting. We have brought guests on, we have shared posts, we have talked about it in the timeline predictions. We have done enough on our part way back when to inform people of what's coming down the pipeline. And everything that we saw played out, okay? Now, we're watching it in a mass scale. So the dates of May 15th to June 5th are when I said it's going to be literally a plethora of erosion, pulling out. Talk about draining the swamp and pulling out the deep state. You're watching it as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked over and over about the planetary king and who that is and why it's playing out in the form of the spiritual war. I don't give a shit what you want to say about politics or what your political stance is. It has nothing to do with the prediction. My predictions, his predictions will stand based on the information that's given to us. And I don't care what plays out.
And it has nothing to do with politics.
It has nothing to do with
ever about politics.
So
politics is a dividing tool.
There are chosen people on this planet that have missions way beyond a path and purpose. And it is a calling way beyond a path and purpose. So when we offer these types of predictions, you can take it or leave it. It really doesn't matter to us, but we're not going to change what we see and hear based on the response or the emotional response of other humans with and without souls, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that is all part of spiritual cognition. With that said, I'm done talking about waking people up. It's exhausting. I have no desire to do it. I don't care who's awakened and who's not at this point. Everyone had a choice. That was the beauty of being here with free will. We will go ahead.
And with that being said, when she's talking about the world king,
Mm-hmm.
so the world king was reporting, back in August that these numbers of this infection rate was overly bloated and inflated. And so this just came out on May 17th, 2021. The CDC director finally admits that the you-know-what cases are hugely overcounted, just as the Gateway Pundit, this comes from the Gateway Pundit, had said that Donald Trump reported back in August.
Yeah. So here you go.
So
now
truth,
the truth finally comes out, because the truth always shines its light. It doesn't matter when and how, but the fact is the truth always comes out. So here we are, after being chastised, ridiculed, taken down, censored, yelled at, screamed at, fighting, people leaving your life, all these things, everything that everyone fought for to awaken those who were asleep has now come to light and has now come to be. But we are no longer part of that plan. We are not here to help anyone else awaken. Now we are here to help those who are stuck because they've awakened, and there's now what do you do?
right?
Now what do you do?
And you can see the timeline split.
Yeah.
You can definitely be walking around and looking at people that are totally self-absorbed and those that are totally self-aware. And you can see the ones that are self-absorbed by their own trauma and their own fear. And they're coding their own body to feed into that fear of not belonging, into that fear of being afraid that if they don't do what they're told, there's going to be dire consequences. But the truth is, the children of the light, the ones that are self-aware, far outnumber the amount of the children of the dark on this planet. This is the illusion of this entire thing. Less than 1% of the ruling class is the population. Less than 1%.
So now it's not about waking up. Now it's about the validation part. And this is the fun part. So I'm going to give a little
Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
I don't take credit for this because I read it on someone else's page, but this Mama Lion Pack, whose tweet is going around all social media, where she writes, or he, the PSA restaurant owners, the people who want vaccine passports are the ones who are happy to let you go bankrupt because they were afraid to go out for a year. The people who kept you in business are the ones that you'll be banning. Think about that. Think about that as you leave your day today.
Yep.
So all these people who closed their businesses and lost money, couldn't put food on the table, couldn't survive, can't pay their rent, couldn't help their children, literally lost jobs. Those are the people. So the people who want these vaccine passports are the ones who were happy to let you end up failing and going bankrupt. And now they are the ones who want you to force these types of passports in order for them to come into your restaurant or your establishment. Guess what we have to
let's talk about, when we talk about the science behind this stuff, you have something called a religious dogma. When science doesn't use the empirical method of being able to, put together a test and then scientifically using the scientific method, be able to repeat that test over and over again. If they can't repeat it, it's called a theory. It's not provable within facts. So when they say follow the science, but they can't repeat the apparent tests that they've done and get the same result each time, that is called dogma. When someone says follow the science, science has become a religion and it's become religious dogma. Just don't ask questions, follow the experts, don't listen to anything anyone else is saying, only listen to us, only listen to the experts. And that is taking away one's own critical thinking. And actually, they think you're stupid, that you're not going to do your own research. So there's a guy I want to quote, the Nomad Soul. He's on Instagram at Christic Medic with a K. Said, instead of saying, I trust science and experts, how about just being honest and saying, I don't have the cognitive ability to actually think critically for myself. And so I default to believing whatever most people believe so that I never have to feel as dumb as I actually am.
Isn't that amazing? Talk about spiritual cognition.
And a level of critical thinking to the point of self-awareness. That self-awareness of going, instead of saying, well, you should just follow the experts and follow science and politicians and your governor said do it, so put that thing over your face. Instead of that, instead of saying, here, just go and get that bee sting, ask critical thinking questions like, who's the manufacturer? What's in it? How long has it been around? What are the safety trials? Has it been used on animals? All of those things, instead of just having politicians and celebrities and people just come out and say, well, it's safe and effective. Really? Can you prove that? Do you have any, are you getting paid to say this? That's the whole thing. Where's the critical thinking in analyzing what people say? It's like, here, take a bite of this sandwich. Take a bite of this sandwich from a stranger. Well, what's in it? Don't worry about it. It's good for you. It's tested and safe. It was in a restaurant. It's good. What restaurant? How long has it been out? What's in it? Would you eat some food from a stranger?
Which is funny because people do go to restaurants and question, ooh, are there peanuts in there?
Right.
Oh, is there gluten? Oh my God.
Do you think that might have a
But you don't ask
reaction?
what's in the freaking vaccine.
Exactly.
You don't ask, but you ask at a restaurant, I'm on a diet. How many carbs? How many carbs? How many calories? But you don't ask
Is this gluten-free?
what's being injected
I have
to
a
the
peanut
point where
allergy.
you're actually getting magnets now attached to your human skin. If you put a magnet up against, look on social media, you think those videos are fake? Those are real people showing you real videos, not the narrative videos. They're actually taking magnets and they're getting stuck to where they got the jab.
Show me one video of someone from any of the past bee stings in all of the time that we've been doing immunotherapies,
Yeah,
where they
show
can
me.
put a magnet
Show me.
up against your arm and it sticks.
So if you don't ask what's in it, I don't feel bad for you. And if you got it because you were forced to, that's on you.
So
that
that's
is completely on you.
That's another
Watch
thing.
the time.
We had someone ask, well, what if I'm forced to do it? Oh, so they're forced. You're just gonna
Then leave.
You could die.
If you're forced, then you need to exit.
You
That
could
is just
die.
fine.
So do you really need to follow that? You know?
It's not time yet, but yep. We're learning, we're playing with it. We're producing our own show. So This is new. So if you hear me interrupting Walker, it's not to be disrespectful. It's because I'm trying to stay on target.
Stop giving away all our secrets, trade secrets.
Sorry. But no, so this is where spiritual cognition is going to become very strong for those. And I will tell you this before we go to the break. You cannot change your family. You cannot change your friends. You cannot change what's been done. So stop living in fear and worry. Stop asking, well, what's going to happen? Are they going to be okay? The answer is it's on them.
It's on them.
It's up to them in spirit. It's between them and their own soul and their own connection at this point. Stop asking, stop worrying.
And how many people, and we'll talk about this after the show. How many people are after the break? Mm-hmm. How many people that have 5D consciousness have a 5D body?
Right.
Let's talk about that.
All right. We're going to talk about this when we get back from the break. So for now, go ahead. Let's go. We're going to go to a commercial. I'm not sure if you can hear me well or not. I got feedback that my voice is down now, but we're going to take a break. Right back after it. Spiritual cognition and all these great things. So if you missed the first half of the show, please watch the replay. Everyone in the chat room, everyone who is with us, we thank you for taking the time to be with us today. On behalf of Rocky Stucci Media and Streaming Talk Radio, Spreaker, iHeart, all the other platforms we are on, we are so grateful that you're tuning in today, even though we are live streaming this on Tuesday at noon Central Standard Time. So before the break, we were talking about and allowing people the information to either be absorbed or to reject. Because everything we teach, you'll either open yourself up to it or you'll reject it. It's on, we're not going to stop or navigate ourselves into a corner and teach it to please everybody. If people don't want our knowledge and our years of experience and the way we channel and the information and the predictions we get, we're totally cool with that. But we are going to bring it in a way that we feel comfortable and the way that we feel it needs to be shared and the way we feel it needs to be educated. And then it's up to you to decide what you're going to do with that information. Nothing we teach is a projection onto how you're supposed to live. No. Everything we teach is an information of you to make the spiritual choice of either absorbing that information and taking it and doing something within your lifestyle, or saying, this isn't for me, I'm going to go on another route, and feel free to do so. So whether you believe in what's happening in the world or not, really doesn't change how we're teaching. There's a lot of false perception, false reality, false beliefs, and false imprints that have been carried out and played out very, very massively, especially in this last year and a half, almost 2 years now. So we are here to help people who have already ascended and are already awakened. I am not here. My mission is not to wake people up any longer. My job is done. And with that said, I have a really, really badass statement. For those who watch or follow, Terry Wade, she's amazing. She's only on Facebook, but she is censored a ton. Her page has been taken down. I don't even know if her page is still up.
She's only banned like every other week.
Every other week she's taken down. So one of the things she said that I took a photo of because it was so brilliant how she said it is that the evolution of consciousness, because remember, 3D versus 4D versus 5D is a consciousness. It is not a place. People think this is like a place you go. It is an energetic vibration frequency that you go to in terms of your conscious connection. Okay. So she writes in here, which I just thought was absolutely amazing. Evolution of consciousness, which is the ascension. That's really what ascension means, is not a choice. Walker and I have been talking about this since September of 2020. The ascension great awakening process is not a choice. You don't get to choose. This is a planetary spiritual shift based on a spiritual war that has been going on for hundreds and thousands of years. That happens to be at the height of it right now. You're watching it play out. So she says, and she's so correct, you will either be updated or erased. There's no in between. So there is no 4D anymore. 4D timeline collapsed over a year ago. There is no, I'm going to go in 4D, then I'm going to go to 5D, then I'm going to drop that to 4D, then I'm going to go back to 3D.
It's just 3D and 5D.
4D collapsed. I think October of 2020 is one of the things that I stated. I don't even remember. You have to go back to one of those shows. The timeline, Spirit showed me the timeline literally like this, collapsed. And that's when the division and the separation came. And it showed itself and played itself out in the form of politics. Because if you think about it, it's conservatives versus liberals, Democrats versus Republicans. That is not what's happening. No. Just because it shows itself as that doesn't mean that's what's happening. No. It was a collapsing of the 4D timeline. And we are now literally separated in 3D consciousness versus 5D consciousness. So you're either ascend or you'll be erased. It's that simple.
And many of, they talk about, oh, well, you must be a Republican or you must be.
Yeah, has nothing to do with that.
The entire entity of the Republican Party has been lost of what a constitutional republic is supposed to be. And that is supposed to be representatives where every single person on this planet as a sovereign being is represented. The structure of the United States, how it was supposed to be, well, it's a democracy. It's not a fucking democracy. Stop talking about that. Democracy means mob rule, okay? It is a democracy under a republic, which was the best way to run it back then where the consciousness was. But how it will be in the future is it will not be a democracy under a republic. It will be a constitutional republic, which means every single sovereign being is represented. Everyone. And there will not be a massive government like there is now. There will be city-state governments. It will be how the original United States was supposed to be, where the government only steps in. It doesn't step in to give you money. It doesn't step in to, support abortions. It doesn't step in to do anything other than settle disputes among states. Because when there's a free market, a true free market, where one state decides, we're looking at it right now, you're seeing it return to a constitutional republic. Florida said no masks, no passports, no nothing. We're not demanding it. They're being swamped with people that are leaving these other states.
Us one of them.
Exactly.
We're out.
The way that this is coming down is they can't keep, the CDC had to say, well, if you got the jab, then you don't have to wear a mask. And now everyone in the liberal media is all up in arms because they didn't push a passport first. Well, guess what? You can't, because everyone would leave to Florida and the other states that are actually under a constitutional republic, which means the states decide based off of being the representatives of the people that live there.
Of humanity.
Actual human empathic souls.
Yes. This is a crime against humanity. Period. End of story. We've been saying this for a long time.
And there are now in Hague and Denmark where they go off of these Nuremberg. So the Nuremberg trials are what occurred after Nazi Germany, after the horrible, gassings and, experimental drugs and things that were used on the German people in Nazi Germany. Not just the Jews. A lot of people were used in these experiments. So what the Nuremberg trials were the crimes against humanity trials. There's things that these emergency protocols that they've used in this pandemic go against the Geneva Convention. They go against these all 10 very egregious letters of the Nuremberg Code. This means that because this Nuremberg Code is in place, because this is about if as soon as you see any adverse effects, injury or death, supposed to stop the trial immediately. Any doctor is supposed to say, I'm not doing this, stop the trial immediately.
Reminder what he just said. Any
trial.
And any doctor.
In fact, anyone that has adverse effects has the conscience to say, no, I'm not doing this. My family's not doing it. And if it was so great, if this thing was saving the world from something that is 99% recovery rate, they wouldn't have to mandate shit. So the illusion is they want you dead. Okay, that is the actual truth. Is it's a depopulation thing. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I might get censored for that. Listen to me. Listen. If it was so great, they wouldn't have to mandate it. Everyone would be like, oh my God, there are people there's like, slime coming out of their eyes and there's blood coming out of their ears. Give us this amazing almighty thing. But you know what the biggest problem about this experimental drug is? Because with all the Nuremberg codes, it goes against all the Nuremberg codes to the point where it cannot even be registered or defined as an actual vaccine.
And let me just say here for the little fact checkers that love to do this shit, the facts are there. It's actually came out in a study, and there are there's multiple lawsuits that are now filed in what we're speaking of. So we've already read and done the research. So all we're doing is bringing the already public research to you. So if this gets censored, it's because they don't want you to know. It's
1,000 doctors that have come out against this and have said this is experimental.
Yes.
And the other issue with this is what people are saying, it can destroy the VMAT 2G and your connection with source energy. It can do this, or it has spike proteins. We don't know what's in it. So what they're saying could be the issue, or what the whistleblowers are saying is the issue. We don't even know the full effects of it because there is so many different things that are in it. Okay, it's experimental.
And this is public knowledge, folks. We've already done the rabbit hole. We've already done. So a lot of what we bring to you, we're already doing he researches from the time his eyes open to the time he sleeps, and while he's sleeping, by the way.
They skipped the animal trials, and the actual human trials will not conclude until 2023. So guess what? You're the test subjects.
Yep. So it's a shame to watch, and it's hard for us because as spiritual teachers and healers, and yes, I'm comfortably saying that, even though we don't heal people, our energy is here to help shift the energy in the planet, which helps bring a vibration of healing. We don't heal anybody or anything. We offer the energy to help people heal.
Right. And let me put a reminder in there for fact checkers or anybody in the media. It was after the Nuremberg trials where the media was found complicit, or they knowingly deceived the public, or they knowingly deceived the population. Mm-hmm. They were found guilty and they were put to death. So fact check all you want, but I'm going to tell you, nothing can stop what's coming.
No.
And take that as hate speech if you like.
And the lawsuits are already filed, so you can't change the law. It's happening.
Well, there's already rulings.
And they're going to suppress the information, but it's very public knowledge. You just have to really watch your sources and find the information yourself. So go down the rabbit hole.
And see how well of a comfy job you have when your 230 is eliminated. Because it's coming. And guess what? These big social media companies, you're going to get busted down for anti-privacy, antitrust laws. Mm-hmm. You're going to get busted down, and you're going to become a public utility owned by the people.
Yep. So what does this all mean? This means that with the galactic involved, because we're always going to pull it back to the spiritual side. I don't give a shit what's going on in the lower vibration world. I could care less. There's other people doing that work. and let them keep exhausting themselves. We're going to bring it to you from the galactic.
Because all the isolation is about, all the conformity is about, all of these things that are there are designed for you to give your personal power away.
Give away your inner power.
Consenting to it. They didn't mandate anything. People, there's such a fear of a mandate, they're going and getting them without even being mandated. There's very little that they're doing to keep you locked down. Say no, stop.
Here, this is what you say.
Sit down and shut up.
I love that. That's what I would say. So if you get confused and people are coming at you and they're telling you how to live and what you should do, and did you get vaccine? Did you not? Did you not?
Sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
And anything that you start to feel that fear, start to feel, oh my, I'm going to have to get a passport. There are so many myriads of formats of options that the new world, right? The new world order. Well, guess what? It's going to be a new world order. It's just not going to be a one world new order. Okay. It's going to be the new world order that they don't want, because it doesn't include them.
So with that said, I think this is a fun time to bring up that Walker and I live in already as if NESARA already exists.
We already live in our people don't know what NESARA is.
Oh yeah, why don't we explain it? But let me just say for those that do, we've already lived in a vibration since January where NESARA already exists. The planet has already shifted. The timeline has already changed. One of the biggest things we do is we live in our own pocket dimension, we call it. We call it a pocket dimension because in our world, in our vibration, the outside world does not exist for us. And that is why we are so, what I call healthy, both mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I do believe that is why we're challenged in certain aspects of our work. We're still uncovering things about our own individual selves and together as a couple to help shift the planet through our teachings.
It might be a really good book later on.
Oh, you might have a good idea.
might need to write a book about the challenges.
Hint, hint. Maybe that's actually what's really happening behind the scenes. How about that? But we live this very, very, we're badass manifestors. We are, I mean, I'm down to the second. We talked about this in the show. I say it and it morphs. I play the quantum field every day, all day. Anything I want, I just, and it happens. And I go with the flow. We both go with the flow. We listen to our counsel as best as we can. We do have a lot of adjusting we've been doing, but we are living the vibration of what our prediction played out as ahead of time. We're not waiting for this miracle to happen. We're not waiting for them to get taken down. We're not waiting for NESARA to hit. We're already living as if. And that is what we're
being
teaching.
The change that you want to see.
You want to be the change.
Because so much what we were discussing just earlier, people that are living in 4D, that's an illusion. 4D is supposed to be a dead end, because that's where you focus too much on the 3D constructs of what is going on around you when you're not living a 5D life. So what we're talking about with this 5D transition is there's either 3D or 5D. You can get anchored back down to 3D for a little bit, change your vibration, go right back up to 5D. It happens to us. But what we're saying is this focus on politics, this focus on, well, where are the white hats? This focus on, well, look what Biden's doing. This focus on, look what Israel's doing. Da, 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 da. If that is the distraction of mind control that keeps one in 3D, that's all it's designed to do. If we're focusing on that, we are creating our reality, right? That reality is this focus that these are now obstacles that are showing us we are not limitless. With this showing us these are the limitations on the, when I was talking about these passports and things, we're having these discussions, she said, we got to live our life like that's just not our reality. And the interesting thing is we're seeing it collapse before our very eyes without focusing in on it day in and day out, because they need us. That's why the media projects fear porn all day long, is they need us to focus on a probable reality that doesn't end well for us. Because that's the exchange that they have. They have given this exchange of, if they can continue to keep us in fear porn, at least they'll have a seat at the dark table when we're all enslaved. But that's not a timeline for us. So what we're saying to everyone out there that's listening is, start living your life the way, start believing and introducing these thoughts of this perfect life you want to live, of the most beautiful life, and then just allow it to happen, instead of focusing on the doubt that it's not there, instead of focusing on all these distractions that are there to keep us bogged down. It's happened to both of us. You know, social media can be an amazing tool to communicate it. It can also be an incredibly mind-controlling device to start to create the reality of the illusion of the matrix, that's all there is. It's all about politics. It's all about the race. It's all about the vote. It's all about this. When there is an evolution of consciousness that is happening, which you just stated that Terry Wade said, you don't get a choice in this.
There is no choice.
Because there has been a choice for a millennia. You've had free will, okay? That game is over. That game is over. Either be upgraded or be deleted. And that doesn't mean non-existence. That means a different reality than the upgrade.
And for the people who are still confused, like, am I in 5D? Am I not in 5D? Here's the thing. If you're asking, then you already know you're already clicked, because the 3D sheeple will never ask anything about 5D consciousness. No. They will never ask about doing something more with their life. They'll never ask about changing their life. They'll never invest self-love to change where they're at. They won't even bring up self-love.
No.
So just for the mere awakening within your own soul to even ask is huge. And that's what we love about the tribe, which is a good time to bring up. If you are not part of the Tribe of Eden, it's an ongoing membership. It's a VIP subscription group. Every month, $20 a month for all of our teachings on steroids, I call it. You get bonus material. You have massive discounts on our personal, both individual and together services that we have. And we have, trust me when I say we have a lot coming.
As well as interaction in the comments section.
And a lot of interaction
between tribal members.
Slowly moving into the tribe more and more, because we had to get people acclimated, but we're going to be doing live shows and a lot more lives within the tribe itself, because we are not censored there. So please, on the screen, for those who are tuning in and can't watch the live stream, it's vimeo.com/on-demand/Tribe of Eden. That entire crew is why we built this community. It's a safe place to practice your spirituality with each other. You can listen to our unlimited streaming videos of all the teachings. We are pulling people back to understand the origination of what the tribe means and what your soul path is, but more importantly, what it means to connect with your galactic counselor and your galactic family. This planet was designed for a purpose, and it was hijacked by the reptilian infiltration. So we are pulling people back to understand the whole beginning in order to catapult and move forward. Because once you understand the beginning and you understand where you originated from with your galactic family, that is when you truly can find your path and purpose. And it's way beyond Akashic records and spirit guides. So with that said, if you missed yesterday's show, we have now offered to the public, because it was not offered to the public this past month, but we have offered the Galactic Star Family reading yesterday, today, and tomorrow on the show. We're doing the announcement. It is on special for $100. It's $150 service, and you can get it at avatararmory.com. When you go into the website, you can click on the actual Galactic Star Family reading and book your service there. He will tell you what's in it, and I'll be typing it in the chat room.
And you can also find it on both of our Instagram handles. Those are actually located in the description below. Be sure to follow us, like us. We are always posting every single day all kinds of juicy information for self-empowerment. What you get in the Star Family Galactic reading is you get a connection from us. We channel through our Galactic Council as well as your specific Galactic Council. We channel what star family you're from, because normally one of your galactic family members will be sitting on your Galactic Council, and your Galactic Council can be made up of a myriad of multidimensional beings on that council. You'll also get an official certificate in a certificate holder, the Tribe of Eden certificate holder, that has what alien species you are, at least the percentage that you most have in your DNA, because you have 97% of your DNA is alien DNA, because they have only mapped DNA to the point of about 3%. And then the rest they call junk DNA, but that's actually your DNA. That's your alien DNA that they're not talking about. So we'll give you that certificate with your name on it, signed with your alien species, as well as an insert with more information on your alien species, as well as there is a bonus. There is a light code activation from the archangels. This is a very powerful light code to transmute or reprogram your entire energy field back to the original angelic DNA instead of the fallen angel program.
And that's free.
That's free with the purchase.
Just the next 3 days, as long as you purchase. We are extending the purchase of the $100 rate till Thursday. And then after Thursday, the discount goes away and it goes back to the original price. But this is available now to the public.
And that will be a physical, like you'll get a physical certificate with the document holder, as well as those inserts that will be delivered to a physical address. So you'll get the actual items, not like downloadable things. However, the actual channeling will be a video channeling that we'll do after you fill out a form after purchase, and the light codes. Those will both be accessed digitally via email.
Yeah, so we hope that you enjoy it. We love what we're doing with this. It's such a higher level of connection, and it really starts the process of you doing the homework of how to find out who you are, where did you come from, and what is your soul path and purpose and mission here on a much larger scale.
Yes.
So we talked a lot today. This was a good show. I can't believe the time goes so fast.
We are moving, not moving, but we are going to be including, in addition to the ability for our anchor.fm podcast radio show, for those that won't be able to exactly watch. Maybe you're driving, maybe you're doing something else. You can listen to it. So we'll be setting up our anchor.fm podcast so you can listen to these shows, not just actually watch them. So we'll be announcing where that's going to be and where to get it. And then all of you can go and follow that as well. So you have an option between viewing or watching.
Mm-hmm. And before we do the outro, I think we need to go lower on the music.
Okay, whatever. No, I want it loud. I want it loud. Okay.
So moving forward, once we get to Anchor, we will be able to do more call-in shows. So again, we've been researching, doing a lot of work and training behind the scenes to bring you the best badass content imaginable. And we love having you. We love being interactive with you. But unfortunately, right now, the equipment didn't allow for it. So with that said, we're moving into that direction for June 1st.
That's right.
Yep. All right. I think it's a good show today. Do you?
I love this show.
Yeah, I loved it too. And I love the Motherella show. I hope everyone in the chat room had a great time. A really good time. One of the things I want to say though is before we end the show, stop allowing people to tell you how to live and what you need to do with your life. And if they don't like it,
sit down and shop.
I love having Walker on the show. Thank you again for joining us. It is Motherella, and I am out.
What?
Go be the badass you're meant to be.
That's right.